Lightsabers are one of the most iconic symbols in the Star Wars universe, not only because of their incredible power and elegance, but because of the color of their blades. The color of a lightsaber blade is more than just a visual aesthetic. It's a reflection of the person wielding it, a direct connection to the Force, and a representation of their journey. Each hue holds a deeper meaning, tied to the wielder's beliefs, inner personality, and role in the galaxy. Today, we will explore these different meanings and symbolisms behind each lightsaber color. Historically, Kyber crystals were abundant on Ilum, where Jedi Padawans would undergo their trials to retrieve their first crystal. However, Kyber crystals do not naturally produce color. Rather, they bond with a Jedi and take on a hue that reflects their wielder's spirit. Throughout the Star Wars universe, lightsaber crystals have primarily taken the hues of blue and green for Jedi and red for Sith. However, as the lore has expanded, many other colors have been observed. Blue is the most recognizable lightsaber color and is traditionally associated with Jedi Guardians. Jedi Guardians were typically those who focus on combat, defense, and physical prowess. They take an active role in protecting the galaxy, often serving as warriors, peacekeepers, and generals during wartime. They prefer to use their lightsaber as a tool for justice rather than relying solely on the mystical aspects of the Force. This color was used by some of the greatest Jedi warriors, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, whose mastery of Soresu made him one of the most formidable duelists of his time. Canon, a survivor of Order 66, and his apprentice Ezra Bridger both carried blue sabers during the Age of the Empire. The most notable of all of them, however, is Anakin Skywalker, perhaps one of the greatest Jedi Knights that ever lived, before his tragic fall to the dark side. Green lightsabers are traditionally associated with Jedi consulars, those who prefer wisdom and negotiation over combat. While not necessarily pacifists, Jedi wielding green blades often act as philosophers, diplomats, or scholars, focusing on deepening their connection with the Force, rather than seeking out conflict. Jedi with green lightsabers are often among the most powerful Force users, demonstrating an advanced ability in telekinesis, mind tricks, and precognition. Some, like Yoda, rarely needed to draw their blade, as their mere presence could de-escalate situations. However, when required, green-wielding Jedi could be just as formidable in combat, utilizing their deep knowledge of the Force to augment their abilities. Qui-Gon Jinn, a maverick Jedi who followed the will of the Force above the dictates of the Jedi Council, also wielded a green blade. Luke Skywalker, after losing his father's blue saber, built his own green lightsaber using a Kyber crystal that turned green upon meditating with it. This marked his growth as a Jedi and his mastery over both combat and the Force. Purple lightsabers are among the rarest in both canon and legends. The color represents a balance between aggression and control, often wielded by Jedi who embrace unorthodox methods or who walk dangerously close to the dark side without succumbing to it. Mace Windu was perhaps the most famous wielder. He developed a fighting style called Vapad, which channeled his inner darkness into his combat without letting it corrupt him. This explains why his blade glows with an unusual hue, blending elements of both blue and red. Vernestra also utilized a purple lightsaber, albeit in the form of a light whip, an interesting choice for a lightsaber. In the legend stories, Mara Jade, a former emperor's hand, initially wielded a red saber before adopting a purple one, symbolizing her transition from assassin to Jedi Knight. Yellow lightsabers have long been associated with Jedi Sentinels, a middle ground between the combative Guardians and the mystical Consulars. Sentinels were practical and resourceful, often taking on specialized roles such as intelligence gathering, slicing, and engineering. Sentinels were often deployed on dangerous missions requiring problem-solving skills beyond combat, such as dismantling crime syndicates or uncovering Sith relics. Yellow lightsabers were primarily seen in the hands of Jedi Temple Guards, the anonymous protectors of the Jedi Order. These guards wielded double-bladed yellow lightsaber pikes and were responsible for maintaining order within the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. This lightsaber color was not very common by the time of the Clone Wars, as most Jedi wielded blue or green lightsabers. Yellow blades were more common in the days of the Old Republic, with Bastila Shan wielding her signature yellow double-bladed lightsaber. Many Jedi continued to use yellow sabers up until at least the final days of the High Republic, as depicted in the Acolyte. Unlike Jedi, Sith do not naturally bond with Kyber crystals. Instead, they bleed them by pouring their hatred, pain, and dark side energy into the crystal until it turns crimson. This process corrupts the Kyber and makes it more attuned to aggression and destruction. This crimson hue became the signature of the Sith Order, wielded by powerful dark side users such as Darth Vader, who bled a Jedi crystal stolen after he killed Jedi Master Kirak after Order 66. Darth Maul, known for his ferocious combat style, wielded a double-bladed red saber, while Count Dooku carried a curved hilt red blade, having bled his originally blue crystal, which he used as a Jedi Master. In the sequel trilogy, Kylo Ren attempted to bleed his own crystal, but his anger and hatred cracked his Kyber, resulting in a unique, unstable red saber that required side vents in order to dissipate the extra energy from the blade. It is worth mentioning that in Legends, Sith often crafted synthetic red crystals through a forging process that made them highly durable and sometimes even stronger than natural Kyber. These artificial crystals were first introduced in ancient Sith traditions, as they were easier to mass-produce than hunting for natural ones. Red lightsabers have typically no variation, as the Sith reject natural Kyber bonding. This uniformity serves as a symbol of their unity in the dark side, as well as a rejection of Jedi traditions. White lightsabers are unique because they are created using a bled and therefore corrupted red crystal that was purified. This process involves a Force user cleansing the Kyber of its dark influence, neutralizing its color. Luke Skywalker once tried to purify a red Kyber crystal that once belonged to an ancient Sith Lord. Luke was unsuccessful, however, finding the hatred within the crystal almost impossible to bear, let alone resolve. The most well-known wielder was Ahsoka Tano, who purified 2 Inquisitor crystals after leaving the Jedi Order, symbolizing her independence from both Jedi and Sith teachings. White sabers represent neutrality, self-determination, and a path free from traditional beliefs of perhaps the Jedi or the Sith. Orange lightsabers have made sporadic appearances in both canon and legends, often linked to characters with unconventional paths. Orange lightsabers might represent those who walk between the light and dark, wielding knowledge of both without fully committing to either. However little is really known about the occurrence of such blades. In Ahsoka's live-action series, we see orange blades for the first time on screen, wielded by Force-sensitive mercenaries Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. The Darksaber is one of the most unique weapons in Star Wars lore. Forged by Tara Vizsla, the first Mandalorian Jedi, it has a flat, black blade with a white outline. It emits a low, crackling hum, unlike any other lightsaber. The Darksaber became a symbol of leadership for Mandalore. According to tradition, it must be won in combat to rightfully claim the throne. The blade carries immense cultural significance, often causing conflicts over who should wield it. Cyan and Magenta lightsabers are primarily seen in video games like Jedi Fallen Order and the Old Republic. While they have no major canonical meaning, they appear to be color variations of traditional Jedi blades, possibly reflecting unique Kyber crystal compositions and Jedi personalities. But now I want to hear from you. If you could wield any lightsaber color, which one would it be? Would you follow the path of a Jedi Guardian with a blue blade, or embrace the wisdom of green? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, please leave a like to help the algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe for more Star Wars content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.